Okay. I need to tell you something. About 4 or 5 months ago, I started seeing a psychiatrist. You know, I was passing out, and they couldn't find nothing. She's been helping me with that.
Well, I'm sure you did it with complete discretion.
Junior knows. He's decided to use it against me.
It's not the worst thing I ever heard. I was seeing a therapist myself about a year ago. I had some issues. Enough said. I learned some coping skills.
Look, this thing of ours, the way it's going, it'd be better if we could admit to each other these are painful, stressful times. But it'll never fucking happen.
Facts.
Was like marriage counseling?
Yeah, like that. Sorta, yeah.
No problem. Did you check? Oh.
The fresh basil really adds to it.
Yeah, I'm sure it do.
I feel so wonderful. We're up and running again. Oh, you said you had something to tell me.
I like the bar stools.
And if Chucky
Outta
calls,
here.
you get me on his cell phone. Ho!
Oh, motherfucker!
Oh, come on, please! Please, come on! Please!
Fucking poison ivy all over.
Yeah.
My friend Brendan, you shot him in his bathtub naked. No chance to run. No, I swear to God, it wasn't me, it was Junior. You hated that kid, it was him. Yeah, right, it was Junior. Mr. Magoo.
I can feel it itching me already.
Are you Lawrence Barisi?
Oh, what the fuck?
Joseph Sasso?
Junior Soprano, alleged boss of the New Jersey crime family that bears his name, was indicted today on federal racketeering charges.
Talk about fucking timing. He's lucky he's still alive.
Oh
my God, it's Uncle Junior.
Yeah. Look at the old guy, making him do the perp walk. A legitimate businessman.
Dad, piece of crap.
Go blow dry your hair.
Michael Grabbag Palmisi. Authorities believe Palmisi may have
Mikey
fled
P.
the New Jersey area, acting on prior knowledge.
Oh, lucky him. I wasn't named because the focus of the investigation is some telephone calling card scam that Junior and Larry had going and this Diamante technical stock thing. That prick Altieri gave him reams of shit. Taking stuff on all of us from the surveillance at the Green Grove. Which is no fucking joke. What I gotta worry about now, the guys that got pinched today, if they flip.
Right. Boy, Junior lucky.
This woman's always been an odd bird, a sea of negativity. Even as a kid, we all learned to take her ravings with a grain of salt. But you also said the son was unstable. I was angry. It would only add to the quotient of sorrow in the world to doubt him, when the source, unfortunately, is a person who rarely has a kind word for anyone.
Let me put this to you as simply as I can. You can avoid sentencing on these charges if you will testify that, in fact, you were not the boss of North Jersey. That, in fact, your nephew, Anthony Soprano, was and is. That he, de facto, controlled your capos, with the backing of 2 of the New York families, communicating through their emissary, John Sacramone. We want Johnny Sack. But more than him, we want Mangano and Teresi.
I want to fuck Angie Dickinson. See who gets lucky first.
By the way, that's a hell of a way to tell you. Yeah, listen, seriously, Jersey is Jersey, but we really want to get New York.
We want you to corroborate information that we obtained through informants and wiretap. That you were allowed to profit more or less. But you were not making policy and you were not in the New York loop. You were positioned to take the hits and now you've taken them. You're 70 years old. How many years you got left?
My nephew running things?
That's how they got him.
Not that Struns. Not in this life.
Now, I wonder, I don't think he's going to talk, but what I will say is I can see why they would think if we lay all of this out and tell him this will make him flip. He'll be so angry. But it's a pride thing with Julia. Julia's like, he never wanted to be seen that Tony was running it, even though he knows. So we're gonna see how that works going forward.
So we were talking about a few months back. Think any of these recent developments have brought Tony any closer to re-examining his life? Making some hard choices?
I told her she was not to use my card again.
No, that's mine. One True Thing, just out on DVD. I was over at Video One anyway. I thought maybe you might want to take your mind off these stressors.
You want to stay for dinner?
Something wrong, Carm?
Just tell me so I know how many steaks to defrost. Tony's not going to make it.
My real concern for Tony...
Father, he doesn't give a flying fuck. You know it and I know it, at least for the foreseeable future.
And then that's even a bigger reason.
He's a sinner, Father. And you come up here and you eat his steaks and you use his home entertainment center.
Carmela, the DVD is for you.
That boy got on Jackie Watch.
Even after just last week, I told you I'm not a big Renee Zellweger fan.
You did? I don't remember that.
You want to watch One True Thing? Fine. At least admit it.
I thought you liked movies. Me, a Copa.
Jesus, you know, I get exactly the same who-me shit with Tony. Two I don't need.
You do think I'm a schnorrer, don't you? A parasite. I asked you that before and you denied it, but clearly that's what you think.
No, you know what I think, Father? I think that you like the... I don't even know what to call it. The...
Attention?
Whiff of sexuality. That never goes anyplace.
I got feelings for you, Carmela. I admitted it.
How does Rosalie April fit into your feelings for me?
She jealous, you know what I mean?
I really appreciate everything that you've done for me, Father Phil, truly. The religious counseling, the book on Buddhism, the wonderful chats. I am very fond of you. But I think you need to look at yourself. Call this an intervention. 'Cause I think you have this MO where you manipulate spiritually thirsty women. And I think a lot of it is tied up with food somehow, as well as the sexual tension game.
Yeah, let me get my DVD. Let me get my goddamn DVD. It's like what we all knew about him. It's just I thought it was funny, and I kind of thought that was it.
Oh, Mr. Soprano, your wife found you good.
Found me? What are you talking about?
You haven't spoken? We left a message on your home machine. Your mom's had a stroke.
Stroke?
The news on TV yesterday, it really upset her. Not that it's any
He was about to take her out. Yo, he's smiling. Hell yes.
I know what you did. Sir, please. Your only son. Your middle child.
Look, she can't answer you. Her speech center's been affected.
Yeah, my ass. I heard the tapes, Ma. The fucking FBI tapes. Don't tell me you don't know what I'm talking about. George Clooney, don't get in the fucking middle of this.
Mr. Soprano, Alonzo, call
You protect your
security.
Uncle June's in jail now. And I got one little last detail I gotta take care of.
Mr. Soprano!
I didn't tell you I don't die that fucking easy, Ma. I'm gonna live a nice, long, happy life, which is more than I can say for you.
All right, that's enough.
Keep her moving, keep moving.
I tried to do the right thing by you. You trying to be whacked?
She doesn't understand you.
She's smiling. Look at the look on her face. Look at the look on her face. She's smiling. Come on. Off me. Look at her face. She got a fucking smile on her face. All right, it's enough.
He was about to take that old bitch out. He had the pillow. He was making it pliable so that way he could go down with it. Ah.
Dad, hello. We're not gonna make it to Aunt Patty's.
Why did I buy a goddamn off-road vehicle?
To waste petrochemical resources?
Tony, she's right. We can't keep driving in this. I can hardly see in front of us here.
We can't get to the house. There's a huge tree across Mountain Avenue.
Oh, Mano, you're driving around since 7 o'clock. Nobody's eating nothing. Tone, I got no power, no lights. I'm closing as soon as these last few people leave.
Let's go to Mickey D's. They'll be open.
Let's go. No. Come on. What are you... Come on. We'll figure out something.
His wife knew what was up. She's like, this motherfucker, is he doing it?
They gave me steroids too, but it fucked me up.
Yeah, my man got mad calamine lotion on.
Hey, look at this.
Hey, what are you doing, Tom?
Hey, Troy. How you doing, pal?
It's nothing but a mobster hangout now.
So, guys, Kiara, her brother and sister back in the kitchen if you want to say hello. More refugees.
The skip's seeing a psychiatrist. How's that sit with your ass?
I usually do sit with my ass. Why don't you sit with yours?
Hey, Pat Cooper over here.
This bothers you? You saw a fucking psychiatrist.
Not a woman. I can't get past that. Don't compute for me.
You're the one with the fucking issues. Woman issues. I don't even want to fucking go there.
Well, let's not. Irregardless, I said my piece.
Irregardless.
What are you getting at, Paulie? Look, he's gonna be the new boss now. In name, in everything. Wish him buona fortuna.
Someday soon, you're gonna have families of your own. And if you're lucky, you remember the little moments. Like this.
Yeah, if you're lucky. If you're lucky, you won't remember that your mom
No,
threatened to
we're
kill
good.
you.
Cheers.
First, let me start by saying don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you are subscribed, make sure to hit the notification bell. Shout out to all the new viewers. Shout out to all the subscribers. And have a Patreon with full-length early reactions to things like this. If you'd like to, check it out. That's a hell of a first season. It was a hell of a last episode. Listen, just as a episode, as y'all could kind of tell if you've been rocking with me for a minute, I don't really pin episodes and seasons up against each other because it all sort of melds together for me as like one story. But right now, because I just watched that last episode, I could say I really enjoyed that. There was so many funny, hilarious moments, quotable lines that were either funny, that were super sincere, the hits that took place, callbacks to other mobster movies. Then you have like everything they were dealing with, and it all comes together. And there were moments I knew was going to take place, didn't realize it was going to take place like this, or that it would even take place in the first season. So overall, a great season, and I love how that was tied up at the end. Even down to Artie and his wife. You know, his wife doesn't want all these mobsters in there. Cut to this final episode of the season, none but mobsters in that motherfucker, right? Even, I cannot remember her name, Drea De Matteo's character, right? Like, I don't know if they knew that Chris was her boyfriend, but yeah, like, you know, even their worker is affiliated in some way. So let's go to how this went. When his mother was doing what she was doing, I was still questioning it. I'm still, because notice, and I've said this in other episodes and stuff like that. Not shocking at all that she did it, but my mind just couldn't reconcile that she would do this and be that resentful, hateful, treacherous, so much of a scumbag that she would do that. So in my mind, I really thought, oh, nah, she's senile. Oh, she just can't remember what she did. Now, Uncle Junior being who he is, knowing her, knowing where her mind is at, knowing how sharp she is, goes, what was that shit that you was trying to pull? He can see it was coming. He understood. Not that it was coming. He knew what happened. He's like, oh, so now you don't remember shit. For Dr. Melfi to piece it together, that should let you know. Once again, they show us stuff on the screen, but then they also show us the what comes of other things that happen off screen. So for her to piece it together, right? Tony has been spilling his guts, and I don't mean it pejoratively. I mean like he's been talking a lot with her, and they've been covering a lot of ground. So much so that she was able to see what the mother was doing. Right? I really appreciated that. It showed how much she cares about his well-being, at least just in that portion, and how much thought that she puts into Tony. Right? Dr. Melfi is a dope character. I really fuck with Lorraine Bracco. I fuck with her. I fuck with her in Goodfellas. You know what I mean? I fuck with her voice. You know what I mean? Like, she just has a dope thing about her, and her as this doctor. Because as I think back, as far as the main cast goes, she's probably at that moment probably the most well known when it came out. As far as the main cast, right? Of course, there's other people who are in it that had other parts in gangster films and stuff like that. But what she did with the doctor is like, because I want to say this, and this will show what I mean. The same thing they did with the show overall, they did with her. And it's this. We're witnessing all of this gangster shit and this gangland shit take place, okay? While at the same point, we're seeing the aspects of it that'll wear you down, and that will cause emotional instability and mental just breaking, right? So you see these breaking points of a lot of these people, and she is that sort of conduit that wraps it all together because Tony is dealing with it through the prism of, like, through her. And so everything that she comes out, she be spitting crazy, right? Bars for days. Like, let's go back and think about it. Uncle Junior. And I came to the realization probably a little too late, but I came to it. Oh, there's a reason why it took him so long to sit at the head of the table. He wasn't built for it. Why? Well, we see him having to take out his nephew. And I say having to because we see everything, but he only got what he got from Tony's mom. So let's say we're just in his position. He got to handle that. He got to take care of that. But you see how worried he was and shaky and all that? Let's go back to the other thing. What was it? Cunnilingus and psychiatry is, got us into all of this. Think about how immature he is. Like, yeah. Talking about eating pussy, make you look weak and all that. Okay, cool, whatever. Shit crazy, right? Like, especially in 2021, I wonder how that plays for people because there's certain things, like, let's put it this way. Motherfuckers have no qualms talking about how they eat ass now. But I remember being a young boy and, yo, you eat pussy and right, like, I grew up around West Indians and eating poom poom was like, that was like eating swine, you feel me? But, so, I know that a lot of younger people are watching this now, and I wonder how they felt about seeing that. I know it was real funny, but you got to be more mature than that. My man was ready to go to war over some shit like that. Then we got Chris. Did you see how disappointed Chris looked in Tony? What that comes from is he has his own insecurities and all of that. He does. But in his mind, he's like, I gotta be a man. I gotta handle it. Even though, really, does he ever handle it? No. We're gonna get into his insecurities during this season. But then when Tony says, yo, I was speaking to a therapist, remember, Chris felt real bad about him. They had like heart-to-heart talks, but even when Tony was down in the dumps in that last episode, my man went to come see him. He was the only reason that Tony didn't get popped, right? But when Tony says what he says, it's almost like he was disappointed. Like, yo, that was our rock. That was the captain. That was Skipper, right? But it's like, dog, you could have came and talked to me. That was another sign that, yo, he's not one of the boys. But he already knows that, right? That's just another signal I'm not made. The books are closed. Now let's go deeper into Chris as a character. I like that they show him as a working man. Just trying to work his way up the ladder of the mob. Fire, right? Like, as a character, that's fire. And you see this sort of anxiety of that, you don't think about them in that sort of way, right? Because you see Tony, you see how he's living. But his father at one point was like a Chris. His uncle at one point was like a Chris. They was putting in work. They was doing what they needed to do to move up and become made. Same with Tony. But Chris he's trying to figure out, yo, why me? And his anxiety is just wearing on him. But in the backdrop, it's, he's still a mobster. He still got to go bust some heads. And when he deals with his situation, somebody ends up getting shot, right? Which was dope. Another callback to him getting popped in Goodfellas, right? Even though, me eventually getting fully. But so dope to see him that way, right? Even down to his girl. His girl, she just want to move up in society, right? And so a normal chick might be with a rich dude and she might start a reality show, right? Like she might do some other shit. She might start a little business. Her guy's a mobster. He came up on some money. Hey, I want to start this business. Turns out, hey, he just want me because of how I look. And you feel what I'm saying? So all of this is going into how it is to be a mobster. Okay. Then we have Tony is just so much. Tony and Carmela, period. Okay? Carmela is dealing with the lifestyle, but she's still a human. And so she found a shoulder to cry on with the priest. And we're going to get back to him because I did not expect what happened in that last episode to happen. So it gets to the point where they almost about to fuck, right? Like, for real. With her and the priest, like, they stormy night, all that food. And she really is into, you know, the betterment and all that. And yeah, that's kind of a trope, but it's kind of facts. And you would expect that on here for Tony to be sort of Stone Age caveman. She's more open to this sort of modern way of thinking, oh, let's go talk to somebody. But when it came down to it, right? I said this on The Handmaid's Tale that I just watched, right? So there's a scene where one of the handmaids plays Scrabble with a guy. And I say the statement that the wife, the mistress, would have a hell of a lot more issue with this man playing Scrabble with her than just fucking her. And it's the same with Carmela here. The Guma, she could deal with that shit. But the fact that Tony, who doesn't open up to his wife, who they have their issues and stuff, could go and speak to another chick, right? So she could be like, oh, I'm mad that you didn't tell me it was a woman. But it's deeper than that also. It's that, because she would have got over it by now, right? Remember when she drops Tony off to go talk to her? She barely even makes eye contact with Dr. Melfi. You feel me? So it's like, it's deeper than just and this is what I like about this. All the characters are complicated, meaning they're not just complicated for the story's sake or for the show's sake. It's how a human would actually respond. So Carmela could talk all that, yo, go see a psychiatrist, oh, family, all this. But she's still not over him talking to some woman psychiatrist, right? Because deep down in her mind, she's like, he's spilling his guts to another woman. While at the same time, look how she's doing with the priest. Why? So why is that she felt that way with the woman about Dr. Melfi? Well, how did she? We saw how it went with her and the priest, right? Her and the father. So she knows what's up or how it could go. Now, the way this ended with her reading that motherfucker, I wasn't expecting that. I thought that was just going to be some shit that happened. I was thinking, yeah, he probably won't be in the next season maybe. But for it to be where Carmela lets this man know. See, the thing is, it opened her eyes, her jealousy of Jackie's wife. She goes there to bring some food, and it made her realize something about herself. Oh, shit. I'm seeking something from him, and I'm utilizing food. So when she read him, it was almost her reading herself also. You feel me? Where it's like, yeah, you women who like are in spiritual need, you use them, okay? And you utilize food in some way. And I'm looking at it. What she said is like, oh shit! All of a sudden a storm is coming, and this motherfucker he shows up with a DVD and, hey, what do you want to drink? My man goes in the house, knows exactly where the glasses are and the alcohol and all that shit. He made himself at home, and she had the right word. I remember what I said. I said attention, and she said no, the whiff of sexuality, and that was facts. I like that they made a character where it's not just, oh, he secretly has desires. No. It's something he's dealing with. And that's the thing I can say about all of these characters. It's not just set in stone who they are. It's something they're dealing with. And because of that, it's already built into the characters that there will be development. You see? Because they deal with everything. They're dealing with a bunch of shit. Like even down to the kids. We're going to get more into them. Their story's sort of stagnated, and I'm not pejorative. It's sort of stagnated at they found out about what the father is into and all that, and okay, but I'm expecting more, right? For them to be that well known and stuff, I'm assuming, it gets more into it. Because remember, it starts with her trying to get drugs from Chris, right? So I'm assuming that we're going to get more into the children. Now, I want to go back to the mother. Oh, what a great character that mother is. What a great character. She's hilarious. She makes you angry. In the same scene, I'm dying laughing and I'm angry and cussing out, ain't I? What they did with the callback for when Tony is thinking about his childhood, it meant so much because you saw what type of person she was. She threatened to kill her kids because his pops wanted to move and like start something new. Tony needed to put her in a home, start anew, and she kept saying things and doing things with Junior where I was like, right, all of us. But with me, I was so invested in this character that I'm like, oh no, she's Tony's mom. She's not really. But look what she is. She's willing to blow all this shit up if you're going to play her. Like, that's the type of character she is. I mean, fuck. Let's say she was fully involved in the game. We can accept that. But she's not fully involved in the game. She's out of it. She's out of it. So that's where the deviousness comes into it. She's putting her toe into the waters and oh, well, you know, I heard and oh, you know, this and that. Whew. Now, Uncle Junior. They left off. And I like how they left it off. Why? Because Uncle Junior is being presented by the FBI. Oh, before we go into that, Tony finding out about, and you're going to notice I'm not going to speak about Tony that much in this review because every episode I've talked about it. And this was more, in this episode, more about everything around Tony. Like, for real, it was, thinking about it. Like, Dr. Melfi, Artie, Carmela and the priest, you know what I mean? Whereas, and even when it comes to Tony in this, it's more about his mom and Uncle Junior, right? So the way the feds use that tape with Tony. Whew. And you see him standing firm because of who he's in front of, but think about the embarrassment. Like, for real, yeah, they feds, but it's on some cops and robber shit. And for them to bring that to him, and they suspected it was Junior before him to find out it was Junior that way, to find out his mom had something to do with it after Dr. Melfi had said what she said, and he had done what he had done to Dr. Melfi. I mean, yoked her up and was spitting and lathering at the mouth and fucking tore her glass table up. All right. Uncle Junior was presented information by the feds. Now, there's a couple things in that. The end game for them is the New York families. Of course. You never really hear nothing about families from other places. You only hear about there. That guy, U.S. attorney, you can make your bones on that. You could win elections based off of shit like that, right? You can be appointed like full-on attorney general off of shit like that. And look at my man's name. He's front and center. He's Italian himself, right? So he lets Uncle Junior know. Yeah. He was Tony was the de facto. Tony was dealing with New York. Two members of the families in New York, and they had a emissary who was dealing with Tony. And that's basically how things were getting done. All right, so the thinking is, well, we could get him angry enough to flip. But I wonder with Uncle Junior is that's so much of an embarrassment. He wouldn't even want that type of info out there. He wouldn't even want to acknowledge that info or give it any sort of validity, being that would mean that, yo, Tony was running shit. But then there's also the thing of Tony played me and was running shit. So is he going to snitch or not? They cut it off. But in my mind, I don't think he's going to. That's the way I read that. Yo, what a dope fucking episode and a dope season. I really enjoyed that. As y'all can tell, I was really into that. I'm really ready to get into that second season. So, hey, next season.